Yes. Hi, Pooja. Thanks for joining with me, and thank you so much, for accepting my invite. Welcome to my podcast. Right?
Thank
Please,
you.
please, why don't you introduce yourself for my audience?
Thank you, Srinivasan, for having me over. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Pooja, and I'm the founder of Power Up AI. It's an AI consulting and training company based in Frankfurt. A bit of my background. So I have been working at the intersection of business and AI automation since 2017. I have worked in like Fortune 100 companies, Procter& and Gamble, Henkel, and at AI startup. What I see in the market is this recurring problem that there is a disconnect between businesses and technology. When businesses, so I've always worked in the business side, but as a business, when we see a new technology, there is always this wow factor that, wow, we want to use this technology.
Yeah.
However, what comes later is, like, okay, how do we make this scalable? What is the ROI? Then comes the problem of integration, data silos, tons of problems, and the project dies there. So to solve this problem, I have founded Power Up AI. We are working in three different domains. So first is like AI literacy, because that is one of the important pillars when it comes to, senior business leaders on how they can understand AI and use it for the business. Also the non-tech teams. Second is identifying the right use cases where the businesses and the leaders can see immediate return on investment, because that's something very important for the business for any project to go on.
Right.
And third would be, in this case, identifying the right tech stack, because not everything, like contrary to what you see on LinkedIn, social media, not everything can be solved with AI, and AI may not be the
Right.
right solution for everything.
Right. Right.
Sometimes all you need is like simple process automation, robotic process automation, or, very simple like a code or something. So identifying the right technology for the use case. This is where we step in.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, you talked about three things, and I just choose my question from ROI.
Yeah.
Okay, the return on investment. I think most of the entrepreneur they will let's just start with or focus with return on investment, right?
Hmm.
So they just forget. I mean, they used to forget the first thing. I mean, they strategize the business, and they used to forget about how to position their market, right?
Hmm.
Market fit. So how do you see, I mean, in your experience, the power of AI, how you just give an idea to those kind of the minds, and how your power of AI is helping them to strategize those things, maybe the bridging the gap between those things.
So that's a very interesting question. Um, our approach is mainly lying in, first auditing the businesses as they are, right? We talk about technology as a second part. So technology comes later. First, we need to understand what the business process is. So let's say I speak with, I don't know, a marketing, a CMO of a company. So I want to first understand what they are doing, what their objective is for the next year, what they're currently doing, where their teams are struggling. And from there, we start our process. So it's mostly like a reverse engineering. So first we understand what they're doing right now, what they want in the next year, maybe next quarter or something. And then we start mapping that, first identifying the gaps and then mapping that with the technology. So technology always, for me, is like a second step, not the first step.
Right, right, absolutely. So I think you started from 2017. At the time, that
Mm.
is the start of AI, right? So
Yeah.
after the evolution of ChatGPT and the large language models, I think all the startup, the ideology has been changed. That is how
Mm.
I see it, right? So how do you see the sudden change, even though the AI has come in early, and now the lot of tools are emerging, and a lot of tools are available for helping businesses. And how do you see the sudden change of every, I mean, in this way, I mean, what my question is, in this way anyone can start doing businesses,
Yeah.
right? That's there. So from 2017 to 2024, the emergence of large language models, where they just improved, are still how it just goes in might be the future. So you can just address this kind of information for the businesses.
Sure. So actually, 2017, I would say, was the forefathers of AI. So
Right.
we were still working with very like process automation, robotic processes, map mirroring your screen and clicking and those kind of automating the clicks and so on. So
Right.
that was there. But those kind of technology, there was this problem of access. So not everyone was able to access it, only the larger organization. Plus, these technologies were very resource intensive because you had to be properly trained. You need a
Hmm.
team to manage data, to implement them, right?
Hmm.
Whereas now with the emergence of LLM, I see the technology being very accessible to everyone. I mean, you just have to, okay, enterprise level, you have to pay a bit more, but on an individual level, you can pay $20 a month and you have the powerful tool at your service.
Right.
Uh, so that is there. However, I still do not see this technology being enterprise ready, So where I see is right now we are in this phase of exploration, experimentation. There is this curiosity at individual level. So organizations are curious on how they can leverage. Of course, they have these small use cases which they have started implementing RAGs and so on. So, but the use cases are still very limited in terms of, say, document automation, like basic use cases, which are still
Mhm.
very helpful. I mean, we should not underestimate that.
Right.
But the future of it, I see more, when we go into this integration and real automation phase would be when these autonomous AI agents will become more, more accessible. Right now, though, they are there, but they are not as accessible as, say, ChatGPT, for example. So
Right.
once these autonomous AI agents become more accessible at enterprise level, I think that's where we will see the real power of AI at an enterprise scale. I mean, right now it's super powerful. Say, as an individual, I am leveraging, I don't know, like 70 to 80% of my business is leveraging AI right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
different tools, say, custom GPT, say, custom Claude projects, or an integration of it in some local tool like N8N. So that's
Mhm.
something that I'm doing.
Okay.
But if I think of a bigger organization, I would say it's really these AI agents that are going to
Right.
be super useful.
Exactly. Right. So as you touched upon, in our previous questions, technology is secondary, right?
Mm,
Um, so in my in my case, or in my I have interacted with many entrepreneurs, even students, upcoming innovators club, and the other things. They always think in technology first.
yeah,
That means the automation first, and I think they are doing from the top down approach. So
mm,
as you said, the reverse engineering, right? So I could see there are so many gaps in the reverse engineering
mm,
in the modern age, because you are also doing training and workshops. That is why this
yeah,
question is very valid. So how do you address this kind of, because they just see only the large LLMs, means they just, start their enterprises in those lines. They couldn't see the business idea first,
right.
right? So how do you address, how do you try to address this gap?
Actually, this is where our main focus is at Power Up AI. Addressing this big gap. I mean, what I would say is first thing is, of course, like you need to have the AI literacy, even as a student or an entrepreneur. You need to understand the technology from, say, very hands-on perspective. So theory is important. You have to understand the fundamentals of machine learning, AI, and so on, because AI is a big umbrella. I mean, okay,
Right.
we say AI, but we know it's a big umbrella. So it's like you need to understand the fundamentals. But for me, it is important that people start experimenting with it. Start implementing, even if it is one process, one thing that you can automate, just start doing that. And then start thinking about scaling it uh, from, say, how does it benefit you? So let's say it's helping you save time, it's helping you, just save some cost or something. You have to start thinking from that perspective. That's number one. And second thing would be like, apart from the technical objective or the technical skill set, we should also start focusing on this leadership or this mindset skill set, because that's equally important when it comes to AI. Because AI is like this huge shift that businesses are going on right now, as like not just businesses, even at individual level, we are going through this huge shift. So there is a lot of change management involved. So
Mm.
we should also start thinking from that perspective on how we can make people accept it, you know, how we can focus on, say, ethical AI, because that's a huge topic. I mean, just using tool is not important. You should also start thinking from how they are using your data and what is the impact of it. So more like a holistic. So there is like this hard skill, which is the technical part, and then there is this big portion of soft skill. So
Right.
how you are managing that. So I think these two buckets, when combined together, would be like the holistic AI literacy, in my
Right.
opinion.
Great. So, when you start your business, I think you might be facing a lot of challenges to,
Mm.
position your business, to find out the right fit, who are your audience, and so on. And for that, you could change a lot of strategical, the
Yeah.
mindset, mind shift, basically. And also, based on that, you just slowly shift your services or product lines towards that. So, can you just share some of your experiences or challenges for our audience?
That's a
Right.
very interesting question because, as an entrepreneur, there is this, what I've learned is you need to just pivot. You actually, I'm pivoting on, say, weekly basis, because the shift is happening so fast.
Mhm.
So when I started off, in April this year, and I started off with the mindset, okay, I want to focus more on, consulting and implementation, very core projects. So that was my main area of focus. Of course, I'm doing some implementation and consulting projects, but when I enter the market, I see that there is this big gap in the literacy part. Like people are not even aware of what they can do with AI. So, that's my
Right.
first pivot, that,
Okay.
okay, I need to also focus on literacy, which means I have to focus on training, and how to make it understandable for, say, non-tech teams, how to make it understandable for senior business leaders, because everyone wants to see it from their own glasses.
Hmm.
So that's a big pivot that I had in my business. And then second pivot would be always in the terms of technology. So for example, when I started off, I wanted to just focus mostly on the no code part of the business, no code automation, because that's like, I mean, I do not come from a technical background. I come from business plus tech.
Hmm.
So no code was like the sweet spot for me. But now I see, like, for example, I mentioned about AI agents
Right.
or low code even. So sometimes you have to also shift in terms of what technology you would be focusing on. And
Hmm.
especially with the evolution of AI tools, they are evolving so fast.
Right.
Uh, I don't think it's possible to fixate yourself on just one thing or one process, one technology. No, you have
Hmm.
to keep evolving.
Right.
Uh, agile mindset is something that's very important as an
Great.
entrepreneur.
Right. I think you said it right. Yeah, agile, if you don't have the agile mentality, I think business will. Business are you. I mean, the person,
Yeah.
the entrepreneur, right? They just break, right? So when it comes to an agentic AI or AI agents, what
Mhm.
are the different tools which you could suggest for any kind of an entrepreneurship, any kind of a business? Is there anything, something special, if you are using in your
So
entrepreneur?
I am, as I said, my focus is on leveraging tools that are easy to use for non-technical backgrounds and, easier to implement as well. I am focusing, when it comes to agents, I am focusing on relevance AI.
Mm-hmm.
That's a that's my
Okay.
main one. And apart from that, some building some simple custom AI agents using, very low code kind of a setup with N8N or something. So that is where I'm focusing on. If I have to give a suggestion, I would say relevance AI is a good one. I mean, it's
Okay.
very flexible. It's
Mm-hmm.
it has a learning curve. So it's not like you will step in and, it's not like ChatGPT. Even ChatGPT has a learning curve. So Relevance AI has a learning curve, but once you start understanding it, it becomes very intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about it. Plus, like they have their, like for the beginners, if you are a beginner level user, you can go in, they have their marketplace, you can start, just drag drop using it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something I would suggest.
Okay. So, in your experience, you could have seen, or you could have done more workshops, training, and so on to, empower their mindset. What would be the right, because AI is a big umbrella, as you
Hmm.
said, and right. So there are so many things, we have to start with machine learning, deep learning, neural network, and so on, and RAG model is just upcoming. Agents are upcoming, and there are so many things. We can build our own model for anything right now.
Yeah.
Text to text to audio, text to video. There are so many things, right? So, what would be the important, especially for entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneur? What would
Hmm.
be the important AI skill you would recommend where they can
Uh,
start from?
so I would say, like you should have a basic understanding of everything. Okay. I
Okay.
mean, you should know basically what this big umbrella of AI is and what are its different verticals and what is the difference between them. And then, based on where you want to focus, you should start specializing in. So, for example, in my case, I am mostly focusing on generative AI, low
Hmm.
code and no code tools. So, AI plus automation. And that's what I am focusing on right now.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, depends really on which market segment are you targeting. If it is
Hmm.
proper machine learning, then of course you need to specialize in that. But if it is more like a business plus tech, I would say generative AI is a good place to start with.
Okay. So, when you say power up, when you say about the integration of
Hmm.
the tools for businesses like Gen AI or whatever it is. So, what all the challenges that your clients are talking about in general? So, you don't want to be very specific, maybe generic challenges you can share with our audience.
Sure. So apart from, because I am dealing with two segment of clients, either
Mhm.
like the senior business leaders and, people like senior board members. So I am
Okay.
doing AI literacy programs for them. And second is the businesses. So very traditional industrial kind of businesses. So I'm, kind of helping them with identifying use cases and training as well. When it comes to the leaders, so they of course they want to understand what AI is,
Hmm.
and but one of the biggest concern is data privacy because at the board
Right.
level you are very focused on data privacy, ethical use. the data bias that's there
Mm,
in that's like an inherent feature. So that is something I have to focus on as part of my
mhm.
training. When it comes to businesses, it's of course like data ethics and everything is a part of it, but they are mostly concerned about scalability. So they want to have a tool that they can, keep on scaling. It should not so happen that like tech debt is a big
Right,
problem for them, right?
right, right.
They do not want to have hundreds of subscriptions and hundreds of tools in their technology stack, and they're not being able to manage and scale it. So for them, it is very important that whatever use case we are picking or whatever tool we are picking, it should be scalable and the tech debt stays the lowest.
Right. So for any business, the scalability is an important key because in our journey, we'll start and we'll get the clients and we'll get revenue and we'll get profit. And at some point in time, I've seen many business owners or I mean, the enterprises, they just get settled down with the approach, whatever they just doing. They
Hmm.
don't want to maybe again. Um, just see their comfort zone over there itself, right? So again, for scalability, again, we need, some kind of other step, kind of, they have to move on from they have to take some risk, obviously, right? So what would be your suggestion for the scalable businesses? It is not just a startup. Okay? All the
Mhm.
startup has to move on to the next level, right?
Yes.
So what is your suggestion for scaling up the businesses?
So I think this is something, as I already spoken with you, like it's important to have this agile mindset. You
All
should
right.
be able to pick what is happening in the market very quickly and be able to pivot.
Mm-mm.
So having this, like, you can call it agile mindset. I love the term growth mindset because
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to adapt yourself and grow very quickly on what is
Mm.
happening in the market. I mean, I love reading these, popular business use cases, like how businesses started from somewhere, be it Airbnb, be it Amazon, be it, all the Netflix and something, and how they have adapted very
All right.
quickly
Right.
to where they are right now. And it will only happen when you speak with the market, like when you go out and start speaking with your customers. You would not be, I mean, of course, you can get some insights from social media and everything. They are like popular sources to pick what's going on, pick up the chatter. Uh,
Right.
but to get that real insight, start going out and speaking with your customers. Because
Right.
more often than not, whatever you have in your head, customers want something different.
Right.
So you should be able to pick that up and, be able to pivot.
Right. So during our conversation, you said about data privacy,
Mm,
and getting the data and have the data. I can see the emergence of a lot of things in especially agents. Getting the data and training the data and also the validating the data, it is getting more of a, I think we are in shortage of data at this. So what do you think about in your
We are in
experience?
shortage of what? Sorry, I did not pick up.
Data, shortage of, the data for any, if you take agents,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we need to train the model, right?
Yeah.
So for each and every domain or the verticals which we choose for agents for automation, every in businesses, they're just whatever the data they have, just they are giving and they're getting something, and the accuracy is just going low. So in your experience, maybe you have experienced so much of these kind of things. So what do you see? What is
So
there?
I would say like we are not in the shortage of data. We are in the shortage of structured data, which
Right.
which these
Exactly.
system needs, right? Like there is abundance of data. I mean, all these big companies, they are sitting on so much of data, but the
Hmm.
problem is that data is scattered among, I don't know, 100 different systems.
Mhm.
silos. There is data silos, and people do not know. Like, for example, a customer can have one information in one CRM, something in an ERP system, and there is a disconnect between these systems.
Okay.
So what we need is like, and that is where we are in right now. I think this is the best phase to
Mhm.
start structurizing the data, like start collecting the data, and start like making sense out of it.
Mhm.
Because if businesses can do that now, they are, I think, in a very good position to leverage the next phase of AI, which is like these autonomous AI agents. But
Right.
they have to start acting on it now. And I believe this is also a very good, like a startup idea for someone if
Right.
they can help businesses with structurization of data.
Right. So, what is your final thought for our audience, Pooja? So, I just wanted to hear as an entrepreneur.
Uh, I would say, as an entrepreneur, and if you are thinking of getting into entrepreneurship, one thing is keep your brain, eyes, ears open. Like, as an entrepreneur, your biggest power is going to be your network. So start networking, start meeting people, start hearing what they're saying. You would never know who is going to be your customer, right? And
Right.
second part would be like learning, of course, is a big part of it, but start sharing, start being visible. So no matter which phase are you on, like you do not have to be an expert to start sharing something. So start being visible. Now we have so many platforms. We have LinkedIn, which is becoming such a super platform for having creating that visibility, and YouTube and whatnot. So just start somewhere and then start evolving from there, because as an entrepreneur, network and visibility goes a very long way.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Pooja. Yeah, it was very nice talking to you. Like-minded the people, like the AI, agentic AI, and there's so much we share. So maybe if time permits in future, we'll do a continuous the continuation
Of
of
course, I would be
discussion.
happy.
Yeah,
Thank you for
we'll do that.
having me over. I mean, yeah, I would love to have a longer chat on this topic.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, let's just meet on some other time, right?
Yeah, thank you, Srinivasan.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.